What do you see when you look at the child?
Look, lady, I don't want to describe the scene. The screen is very, very bad, all right? The little baby head is open. Like,
okay.
open. I'm not going in there to touch nothing because I don't want to mess nothing up. I'm not going in there to look because I already seen it. But it's very violent. It's a very violent scene.
Hey, friends. So it's lunchtime right now, and today my man and I wanted some ramen. But while I do that, I want to tell y'all a story about this woman and what she did to her daughter. And I want to say that it is sick. But before I begin, if you like true crime, go ahead and subscribe and follow for more and comment and like and let me know what you want to see so I can do it for you. All right, come on. All right, so today we are talking about DEASIA Watkins. DEASIA and her boyfriend, James Brown. I feel good. Not that James Brown. Had a beautiful baby girl named Janiyah Watkins, born December 4th of 2014. Now, initially, everything was going good. Everything was going great. DEASIA did not have the best childhood growing up, so she wanted to ensure that her baby had the best, as we all should. However, all of that was short-lived. On January 25th of 2015, DEASIA and Janiyah were living with James in an apartment. However, neighbors called the police because they heard DEASIA just screaming and baby Janiyah crying. When the police arrived, DEASIA refused to open the door for the police. Now, the police are threatening to break the door down, cause all this havoc. So James' cousin, Chris Gully, decides to open up the door for the police. Now, when the police arrived and entered in, they noticed a strong smell of the wacky tobacco. And not only that, DEASIA was just acting erratic, like wild. So because of this, the police decide to try to take baby Janiyah from DEASIA. Now, mind you, baby Janiyah is only 7 weeks old at this time, and DEASIA is refusing to let the baby go. And not only that, she then attempts to strong hand squeeze Janiyah's swallowing tube. You get me? Now, after this, EMTs are called to do a welfare check on DEASIA and Janiyah, of course. And in doing so, they were actually able to get baby Janiyah from DEASIA. And when they did this, DEASIA just falls out, like passes out. And I do this because her eyes wide open and she just on the floor just looking. She just falls out. I don't know anybody that passed out, so I don't know if your eyes automatically like close or not. So, I don't know. I might just be ignorant to that, but whatever. Anywho, after this, DEASIA is taken to a hospital to receive psychiatric care. And DEASIA was so out of it that while she was at the hospital, she told them that she didn't do anything that the police are telling them that she did, and she doesn't even know why she's there. But I'm glad she did go there because they put her on a 72-hour hold, and while she was there, she was actually diagnosed with postpartum psychosis. And honestly, that is one of the real reasons that I wanted to talk about this story today, because as a mother and person who studies mental health, and I want to normalize talking about mental health as we should, I truly feel like postpartum diagnoses of any kind just aren't talked about enough, and they're serious and have serious repercussions. And not only was she diagnosed with this psychosis, she also had the wacky tobacco found in her system. And fun fact, a lot of people don't know this, but that green leafy substance can actually spark psychosis. And let's say someone has schizophrenia and it's laying dormant. So it's there, but there's no symptoms of any kind of, anything, no delusions, no hallucinations or anything. But then that same person decides to partake in the whack the back it. It can actually spark and wake up the schizophrenia. So, fun fact. Anywho, she was then put on antipsychotic medication and was told the importance of it and the side effects. So the hospital are letting her know that you can't breastfeed on this medication and you have to take it. However, the hospital staff felt like DEASIA just wasn't grasping the seriousness of it. She just wasn't there. And because of this, they decided to reach out to her caseworker. Now, 5 days after the apartment incident, DEASIA is allowed back into the home. And again, as long as she is taking her medication and the baby is supervised at all times by either James or his sister Jaleisha, we're good to go. However, the caseworker did a home visit and was not able to determine if DEASIA was taking her medication because she hadn't even got it filled. So, yeah. Now, the caseworker again stresses the importance of taking this medication. You have to take it. And if you're not taking it, it's not going to be safe for baby Janiyah to be in this home at all. Now, James steps in and he's like, look, I'm going to make sure that she's taking this medication. And if she's not taking it, then she has to get out. My baby's not going anywhere. Right? Yeah. Okay. So a week later, on February 6th, 2015, the caseworker decides to do an unannounced home visit to see about the situation, check on Janiyah, check on DEASIA. And at that time, she still was unable to determine if DEASIA was taking her medication. And after that, things just went from bad to worse. Over the next few weeks, things just started piling and changing. So on March 6th of 2015, custody proceedings began. And they were unable to determine the paternity of the baby Janiyah, so they couldn't say that James was the father or not. And also, they were needing a psychiatric assessment completed for DEASIA to determine her fitness. And since they did not have this, the magistrate decides to grant the custody of baby Janiyah to the Hamilton County Department of Job and Family Services. Say that 6 times. I wasn't even looking at no notes. And because of this, they decide to give baby Janiyah to DEASIA's aunt, Deborah Stewart. And not only that, the rule was DEASIA and James were not allowed to come into contact with baby Janiyah at all. Do y'all think that happened? Of course not. We wouldn't be talking about this. However, a few weeks later, a caseworker decides to go over to Deborah's house and check on everything, seeing how everything is going. And Deborah's like, and Debbie like, ain't nobody being over here. The baby's fine. We are good. You ain't got to worry about nothing. We're doing great. We're amazing. Stay over there with all that. What you mean? Mm-hmm. But this is the thing, y'all. So, Aunt Debbie has some medical issues. Some real deal medical issues. And decided to allow DEASIA to come live with her. Now, on March 16th, 3 days after the caseworker came over and confirmed from Aunt Debbie that everything was good, the absolute worst thing happened. Debbie's son, Robert, decided to come over to the house, and he walked in on the worst scene imaginable.
Hello?
What happened?
Police. I don't know. This house is big. I don't know where my little cousin at. So can you please?
Where is the 3-month-old baby?
The baby is on my mama's kitchen counter.
Okay, I need to know what happened to the baby.
I don't know what happened to the baby. I came into the house. She told me. Came into the house. The baby was on the counter. My mom was in the bed asleep. I woke my mom up and we calling you. That's all I know. I don't know nothing else.
Okay. Listen to me.
Look,
Is the baby breathing?
listen, lady. The baby is deceased.
So the police arrived and confirmed that baby Janiyah is gone. And after doing this, they decided to clear the house, make sure they're not missing anything, no one else is there. And as they're doing this, they find DEASIA in the bed with covers tucked all the way up and only her hair was sticking out. And when they got her out the bed, she wasn't saying nothing. Everyone was taken to the Cincinnati police station, and Debbie is pitiful. Pitiful. While DEASIA is in her own world, to say the least. And again, DEASIA ain't saying nothing.
My name's Jen. This is Jake. Are you handcuffed? Would you be more comfortable if I took those off?
Like, they even walk in to let her know her Miranda rights and just see how she's doing and ask her a few questions, and she was over there looking like this. The detectives are, again, continue to try to talk to DEASIA, but she just isn't budging. Even after 6 hours of trying to talk to this girl. So they decide to just take a few pictures of her, take her clothes for evidence, and send her on the way back to the hospital. However, Aunt Debbie is still there and still pitiful. Aunt Debbie was so pitiful that she had to have one of her relatives, Sydney, help tell the story of how this all even happened. Again, she says how that she has these medical issues and taking a baby just wasn't something that she was truly able to do. She had problems with her eyesight, her eyes were bad, she was hurting. However, when the baby went into the custody of the Hamilton County Department of Job and Family Services, the family did not want the baby to go into foster care. So Debbie felt like she was pressured into getting baby Janiyah. And again, she needed the help. So that's why she allowed DEASIA to come live with her. You know, just telling her side of the story. After being treated, 3 days after the incident, DEASIA was returned back to the police station. And this time, this girl is completely different. Completely, like she's actually answering questions, she's talking, she acknowledged her Miranda rights and everything. Now, even though she initially started off talking, she still wasn't being honest.
In the bedroom was a broken lamp. Do you remember how the lamp got broken?
No.
Obviously, at some point, something bad happened with the baby, okay? Do you remember what happened?
No.
How did the baby get into the kitchen?
I don't know.
Do you think Aunt Debbie did something to the baby?
Yes.
She even said that she thought that maybe the aunt did something. I mean, who knows? Ain't Debbie over here talking like this?
I can't live with this on my conscience. Just kill me. It's my fault.
You know, maybe Debbie just got tired of taking care of a baby. She's dealing with her own things and own situations. And, you know, just snapped. Now, because the agent started talking crazy like this.
How do we make that leap from the baby's acting like a normal baby to the point where we end up where it is badly injured and dies in the kitchen? That
I don't know.
you don't know?
I guess when I gave you a sleepwalking.
Okay.
So the detectives are like, yeah, no, that's that's not what happened. Like, your fingerprints are all over the pointed, pokey kitchen object, and DEASIA still was trying to deny it. Like, listen to this.
I didn't have a knife in my hand.
You never had the knife in your hand, so those aren't your fingerprints that are on the knife in there?
No.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
So if we pull that up and your fingerprints on that, like, how am I going to explain that then?
My fingerprints just stay on there.
They just stay on there?
You know what I'm saying? My fingerprints not on there.
No, but I'm telling you that they are. I'm saying, how do I explain that?
Should I check in it?
By checking it? Why, we did check it.
No, my fingerprints not on there because I didn't touch it.
Okay. Well, you're thinking that your aunt did it, right?
Yes.
Even though she was completely asleep, had no blood on her hands. You still think she's the one that did it?
Yeah, she's sleepwalking.
That's enough. That's enough. Eventually, DEASIA started telling the truth. And on one hand, I mean, I'm happy that she did, you know, because it's good to know. However, on the other hand, it's hard because it was one of the worst things I have ever heard of, and especially happening to a baby.
So I changed the diaper. He kept screaming and running. And then I didn't get the changer, so I just threw it across the room.
After this, she ended up grabbing baby Janiyah and banged her against the dresser 4 times. Now, Janiyah was still not gone, so she took a stick and hit her 4 times as well. After all of this,
She wasn't bad investing. That's when I ran in the kitchen to kill her and make her off.
she then decides to pointy object baby Janiyah everywhere, in her head, her face, her eyes, just everywhere. But in her own words, she said the baby was still twitching, so the last blow was to baby Janiyah's neck.
Just cut her neck.
So they asked her, what did she do with the pointy object? Which she replied the wildest thing. She said that she put it in baby Janiyah's hand, the 3-month-old's hand. Let me just stress that real quick. So they asked her, why did you do that? And this was her reasoning.
What did you do with the knife after that?
Put it in her hand.
Was there a reason that you did that?
Yes.
Why did you put it in her hand?
So it looked like she did it.
So it would look like she did it?
Yes.
After all of this, she then decides to go, get in the bed, cover back up, and act like ain't nothing happened. Which is where they found her at. So everything that she said ended up matching completely to the evidence of everything. It's terrible. After receiving psychiatric care, she was determined competent enough. Look at these things. Look at that. She was competent enough to stand trial. And because of this, she was ready to go, but she ended up deciding not to even go to trial and plead guilty. She ended up getting 15 years to life, and she is eligible for parole after serving about 30 of those years. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that she should even have went to jail? Do you feel like the aunt should have had anything to do with this? Like, should she be held responsible in any way? Because, I mean, if she did what she was supposed to do, then Janiyah wouldn't have even been in the care of DEASIA. But then again, also, should they have just allowed Janiyah to go to foster care? What do y'all think about this? Like I said, I mean, mental health is serious. Mental health is real. We hear stories all the time of mothers doing the craziest things to their children, and we're not getting it because, again, we don't really talk about mental health the way that we should. Now, I'm not saying that that's just, it's fine and dandy because it happened, but I mean, there's a lot of things that we have to do to educate ourselves and get help and make sure that the right channels are working, and when the professionals are saying things, and we should definitely listen to them because, I mean, they studied it and we didn't. I don't know. What do y'all think? Like I said, this was just a wild story. I've never heard of this story, and I want to know what y'all think. But, y'all, can we appreciate these noodles real quick? Can we appreciate them? Like, but anywho, I'll see y'all the next time. Again, if y'all have a story that you want me to tell, go ahead and let me know. If y'all want the recipe to my good old noodles, you know, my lunch spicy seafood noodles, let me know. And I'll make a video on just the noodles and a step-by-step of what I did and how I hurt myself and burn myself 1,000 times, because that's what I do in the kitchen the past. And if y'all have anything I want to say, let me know. Subscribe, share, comment, like, do all the things that they tell you to do. Do it all, you know. Support your girl. But until next time.